What's going on, guys? Happy whatever day of the week it is for you. I'm down here in my home gym and I just want to have a quick, it might actually end up being lengthy, I don't know. But I want to have an honest discussion with you guys about choosing who you want to be and committing to that image. Now, what I mean by that is I'm mostly talking about career here, right? If you're a young person, maybe you're high school, middle school, maybe you're in college, and you haven't quite decided what you want to study. You don't know what career you want to go into. Maybe you're not sure if you want to get married or have a family one day. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to have a family. I knew I wanted to get married and be a dad. I knew at a deep, visceral level who I wanted to be on a personal level. But what I didn't know about myself was what I wanted to do for a living. You know, this lighting is atrocious. What I didn't know was who I wanted to be professionally. From a very young age, I wanted to be a soldier in the Army. You know, that kind of doesn't really line up with like the rest of my characteristics, and I didn't realize that as a child. I wanted to be a family man, and if you're in the Army, you can be a family man, you can be a great dad, but you're traveling all the time, and sometimes you're gone, sometimes for years. And I didn't think about that. I didn't realize it as a child. And I thought maybe I'd go into politics later, and I didn't really think about that either as a child. I thought that going to West Point was going to be what I needed to get where I wanted to be professionally. As I got older, I went to college. I majored in something that didn't mean anything to me because I was in the ROTC, and no matter what my degree was, I knew I would have a job in the Army, and I figured that would be my lifetime profession. So halfway through college, that whole plan kind of exploded. You can hear about it in another video that I filmed a while ago where I talk about it. But it didn't work out, and I came back to college. I had studied for a year, and I was no longer in the ROTC. I no longer had any promise of a career in the Army, and so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And thank God that happened. I am so thankful that happened. Because it pushed me off of the wrong track and put me onto the right track. B, it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. I was depressed for almost a year. I was angry, I was bitter, I was confused, and I felt lost. I had no idea where to go, who to turn to, or what to think. I didn't know who to be. And if I hadn't had that experience as a youth, I don't think I would be anywhere near where I am now. And I consider myself to be much further along the path of life than I was back then. I'm grateful for that trial. And this is the problem, I think, with our school system and the way kids are raised today, because there are a lot of schools, there are a lot of teachers, a lot of parents who are telling kids to figure out what they want to be before they even go to college. And this varies from family to family. My family and my parents were always incredibly open with me. They were very honest and accepting of me and my sister, and they allowed us to choose who we wanted to be. They allowed us to choose what we wanted to do. If we signed up for something and didn't like it, they let us quit. They would talk to us about it, and you may agree or disagree with that kind of parenting strategy, and that's fine. Talk about it in the comments. I would love to hear what you think. But I was allowed to make my own choices as a child. And once you step foot into that college game and you start paying tuition and you start making moves in your career, it becomes harder and harder to get out. So when you're making choices about your career, when you're trying to figure out who you want to be, do what I didn't do and take an inventory of yourself, okay? If there is an area of your life that you know it's part of your identity, you're so sure of it that you feel like it's part of your actual identity, that is where you want to start. So for me, that was, I know I wanted to be a family man. I knew I wanted to be a dad, okay? I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to own a home. I wanted to have a beautiful backyard. And I didn't really know this back then, but I wanted to have a home gym. And if I had thought long and hard about it, and if I had known that I was going to go into exercise, I would have been able to guess that. But find that piece of your identity, that piece of your soul that you know is true, okay? If you love working on cars, all right? Cars are your passion. You have been obsessed with cars since you were 5 years old. You work on engines, all right? Maybe you change your neighbor's oil for money. You're in high school, you have like a list of dream cars. That's part of you. That's part of you, bud. That's part of your identity. And that is where you need to start. Before you choose to go to college or before you choose your degree, ask yourself, is this going to allow me to keep that part of myself that I know I need, which is cars? You know, don't go into psychology if you love cars, all right? Maybe you should go to a trade school and learn something about cars. Maybe you should go into business and open a car dealership. You know, think about these things, okay? Find that piece of your identity that you know you need, that you know you have to keep, and you know that if you lost, it would break you. And that's where you start. Build the rest of your life around the things that you are certain of. And I thought that I was certain of the Army, but what I didn't realize as a youth was that I didn't have experience with the Army. I had only been to high school and college. It wasn't until I was in the ROTC that I had any kind of tangible hands-on experience with the military. So I had no idea if it was part of my identity. Yes, wanting to go become a soldier was part of my identity, but it wasn't built on anything real, okay? So find something real that part of your identity is built upon and start there before you make any big decisions. That's my best advice. You will still mess up. You will still make mistakes. There will be things that you regret, but I would encourage you to reframe those things and appreciate them for the lessons learned and look at the trials ahead with positivity. And be grateful for the lessons that you learn and remember them. So, anyways, if you have questions, if you agree or disagree with me, leave it in the comments section. Let's have a discussion about it. And, I hope this helps some of you. So, as always, have a good day and train lively.